Hello, fellow lovers of myth and explorers of the unknown. It is me, Cryptic Yellow, otherwise known as Mystic Blue, and welcome back to season 1 of Let's Talk Mythology. And this is episode 4, where we're diving back into the waters of Iceland. Well, we'll be diving into the waters of Iceland today, sort of. Be wary and careful, for the creature will be interacting is nothing to horse around with. I am, of course, talking about Iceland's very own water horse. The other names for this beast are known as the clump, devil, hippopotamus, ninny, nuni, Niker horse, water fiend, and water giantess. I am going to say this. Out of many cultures, there's always going to be some that will share beasts with same characteristics. This one has to be pretty well known. The name water horse, you will probably think of either a hippocampus or even maybe possibly a kelpie. And indeed, it's like a kelpie, but far more dangerous, and has a very vast, interesting origin indeed. And plus, I will go in depth, with this thing being linked with a Pokemon with a certain Pokemon, water-type Pokemon. Okay. And as you can see, I've already gotten the sketch out. Okay. Here's one little note next to the image. A typical water horse strongly resembles an ordinary horse. Ordinary usually be the Icelandic horse, which, let me tell you, they are fluffy. So fluffy. Usually gray in color, somewhat shaggy, with a luxuriant mane and tail. I'm already loving it. And there's Ojort. Okay. The water horse, Niker, is probably the best known species of mysterious creature in Iceland, since it is found far and wide, and particularly every bottomless pond and large lake of enormous depth, as well as in rivers. There are references to the phenomenon in ancient writings as early as in the Book of Settlements, land in and once again, I'm going to say I'm very sorry for my pronunciations of these words, because I'm going to skip some just to make things easier. Where it is said to be dapple gray and to have its habitat in a lake on the peninsula in the settlement of Point Face. Later in the same volume, it is found in the district of Skaga. I can't say words. And it is described as gray with a mane of a different color. At that point, it has just impregnated the mare Fluga, owned by the settler Proton Pigeon Nose. Imagine having that name. There are indications that Flurger had the same nature as her lover. Their offspring was the horse, I can't pronounce that, which came to a bad end. Oh my god, I don't like these. Okay. the horse with the name that starts with E, was transported to Norway, where it caused the deaths of 7 people in one day, and subsequently perished itself. So it killed 7 people and then committed suicide in only one day. I want to swear, but I'm going to try not to swear on this channel. Okay. Old tales indicate that the renowned horse Freyfaxi in East Iceland, a main player in the saga of was fathered by a water horse, a dapple gray colt of huge dimensions and unknown identity. The story is followed by a long silence which was not broken until 1638 by Gisela Odesson, 1593 to 1638, bishop of the Episcopal See of Skulholt. He had an extensive knowledge of the lake monsters, which tend to appear in the shape of a horse, and are therefore most commonly referred to as water horses. They are fairly numerous, of large proportions, and most likely to appear in lakes. They have the strange characteristic of being able to appear in a variety of shapes. Thus, they sometimes take on the likeness of a horse, bull, fish, or massive salmon. Those who have studied this matter have sometimes thought that they saw a container or some kind of shiny metal submerged in the water. I think I could readily agree that these were the manifestations of malicious spirits if this opinion was not contradicted by the extraordinary stories I have sometimes heard of such a water horse being used as a workhorse on a farm, as a pack horse or for riding, although an evil spirit could with little difficulty carry out such tasks. Okay. We'll get to the point where it gets interesting. And also, where is everyone? I thought there would be people. Where are my people? Hang on. Is this thing on? Okay, it's good. Very okay. Where is everyone? Oh well. The above passage contains most of the information that was to appear in the writings of the following centuries. In 1730, however, a small addition appears in a description of Iceland by Porlocker, who was born in 1692 and lived to 1736, who states that in the lowlands and mountains, countless still lakes are to be found, and some of which people have apparently noticed a type of monstrum aquarium resembling a horse, gray in color. They call it a water horse. This is thought to be some kind of Malus genus or monster. It is sometimes seen on land not far from these lakes, grazing among other horses. If chased, it separates from the herd and runs back into the lake. It has not been noted to cause harm unless people light by holes in the ice to fish after the onset of darkness. Then it breaks up the ice and seeks to drown those lying on it, unless they are alert and on their guard. John Olofsson, 1705 to 1779, from Grunavik, calls this animal a water horse in 1737, and believes it is mainly sighted in the summer, but exclusively in large lakes such as and districts of, that's a long word I cannot pronounce. He also reports people saying that often commotion and noise is heard in the lakes inhabited by the creature, particularly the evening. Then it is sometimes seen to emerge out of the water, and if the lake is frozen, it will break up all the ice. It is said, furthermore, that there is always an open crack somewhere in the ice beneath which it lies. But both the noises and the cracks may be caused by wind under the ice. Some say that booming noises are heard in the lake if a horsehide is dragged along the ice. If it is ridden and the rider mentions the word ninny, it will run amok and rush into the lake. For this reason, some call it ninny. It is gray in color with a shortened neck and is broad towards the tail. Its hooves are not cloven, and it will not allow people to lift its legs or inspect the hoof. The poet and natural scientist Egert Olofsson, 1726 to 1768. So, man, this died young. Well, youngish. Who traveled around Iceland for a few decades later, is familiar with all the names bestowed upon the creature and says it is found in bottomless lakes. It is said to be light gray. Sometimes people have ridden it or used it as a pack horse for part of the day. It can impregnate mares with a foal, the offspring having a tendency that when they enter the water that reaches up to their knees or belly, they throw themselves down and roll over, regardless of whether they are carrying packs or being ridden. And so why I'm kind of scared of riding horses. John, I do not know even how, I can't even say that name. About 1791 to 1861. Trying to do the math in my head. Oh my God, this guy lived to be 70. From the farm, provides some additions to the story around 1850. He is of the opinion that the water horse and the water giantess are one and the same creature, and says the beast tries to tempt people onto its back in order to plunge with them into the nearest water, for they will perish. The purpose of this is, of course, to eat them. Although this is only said openly in exceptional cases, to make it easier for the victims to mount its back, it would lie down, since it was, under normal circumstances, larger than ordinary horses, and was also able to increase its length as well. This sounds like one I remember hearing about the Kelpie, where it was able to change the length of its back. So right now you can see relations with the water horse or ninny or the night curd and the Kelpie. But After the second, two more of these paragraphs, I will explain why I think it's connected to one legendary or mythical Pokemon. The collector of folklore, John Arneson, heard that the water horse not only inhabits freshwater, but is also to be found in the sea. In such cases, it usually takes on the likeness of a bull, and is known as a sea-bull. It generally has a large mane. Its color is usually gray, sometimes brown. However, and all the hooves are turned back to front. The tufts on its pasterns pointing in a direction opposite to that on other horses. Yet these are not fixed characteristics, since its nature is to suddenly metamorphose or something into various forms at will. The water horse cannot bear to hear its name spoken, nor any word resembling it. If it does, it starts violently and dashes into the water at full gallop, or it may vanish into the ground. The same applies if it spies at a church. If bells are heard ringing, or if someone says devil, similarly, the sign of the cross is a sure remedy against disaster, as is asking God to help you. This kind of advice becomes easier to understand if we keep in mind that it was thought, at least in the districts of Mannersburg in the east, that the water horse was the devil himself in equestrian form. If none of the above countermeasures are used, it is almost impossible to dismount. So strongly is the rider bonded to the back of the beast, as if by glue or a powerful magnet. Kelpie. The water horse is generally a loner, but in exceptional cases, several of them wander about together. 12-legged water horses also exist. Ugh. So it has 24 pairs of legs? Ugh. Because 12 are actually... Okay, that's too many legs. Ugh. Either way. One was seen, for example, before a spell of inclement weather in the breeze between the farms of Kolfridges and Vatamus and Vaskr, East Iceland. Often this ill-natured beast presents a splendid enough appearance, but sometimes it is very stout and heavy of build, and lower-legged, almost dragging its huge belly across the ground. The head is conspicuously protruding, and the skin hangs in large folds. Occasionally, its ears are turned inside out. Okay, that's a bit creepy. And has been designated in the additional names of devil, scully, clump, culmer, hippopotamus, don't even know how to say that in Icelandic, nuni, niker, horse, niker, hester, and water fiend, vatanaskarkrati. At least 4 proper names have been preserved in writings. Rvikblaze, Brownie, Brune, Majestic Mane, and Watergrey. Okay, that's a cool name with the name Blaze. Okay. The water horse has the power of the beast, If you wish to tame it, you have to burst the lump under its left shoulder. This, however, only helps it for a short time. Soon all is as it was before. To flush it out of its habitat for good, it is recommended to keep a fire burning all the location at the location for the whole day. This was done with great success at Palacord Farm in the valley of Sarf. Using christening water has also worked. At least this was the method used to scare away the creature living in the mouth of Fossa River, which flows into Barrowford in the east. Other colors that distinguished it, in addition to various hues of gray, are pink, white, light yellow, mouse gray, with a dark streak along the back, and black. One also had a large blaze in the middle of the forehead, which looked as if this was its only eye. Another had red cheeks. The water horse will sometimes move between lakes, 2, 3, or even more of them together, via tunnels or above ground. The change of abode often takes place on the last day of the year, and it spends a year at each habitat. Its roaming is thought to herald changes in the weather. A chance encounter with it in fog is particularly dangerous. Numerous place names all over the country, not, however, marked on the map, serve as testimonies to the existence of the fiendish creature. For example, the following, which take their names from Icelandic Necron Waterhorse. That's a lot of N's. In addition, some places are named for its nicknames, such as Kronberg Pond, Klump, and I can't say these words. While others relate to incidents of a tragic nature. One such location is at Skagi, in the district of Ostorhandsla. I cannot say these names. Please excuse me. Meh. Okay, where the abominable beast dragged down 7 out of 8 children and drowned them. The place has been known as Children's Pond ever since. Wait a minute. I'm remembering on my trip to Iceland, I think I went to a place where children drowned. I went to that pond. Oh my god. Oh my god, I actually went to that pond. Anyway, this should clearly demonstrate that the water horse is and will always be sly and deceitful, trying to enumerate all its favorite haunts, however, as a warning to all and sundry, is beyond our capability. There are simply too many of them scattered about practically everywhere except perhaps in the wastes of the central highland. It is therefore safest to always exercise caution while out in the open. So that's the whole reading about it, but I'll go back to it. So the Pokemon I was talking about that shares characteristics with this thing that are so... Oops. Okay. Let me say... Let's see. Is this thing. Keldeo. For crying out loud, look at its hoofs. And I would pull up a picture of the hoofs, but I can't. So, unlike a normal horse, it doesn't have like the joints, the kind of the similar joints. Instead, it's straight down. And so if I was thinking this thing is related because it's a water fighting type. And if you think about the kelpie and this thing, if you say certain things, it will violently thrash about before retreating back to the water. So that violent thrash, that has to do with fighting. It's fighting back. So that's one thing that has to do. So those are the types. Then the design for that. So in other mythologies, the Kelpie, usually in Scottish, Irish, and English mythology, usually they can change their form. Sometimes they could appear as a white steed, or even a unicorn, or a or look like a unicorn but without the horn. Anyway, so that's the one thing with similarity with the horn. While it shares like the body type with this, with 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 the water horse. Ugh. Seriously, I okay. The hoof of the water horse resembles the hoof of a horse which grows evenly in a full circle and forms a hollow. Since this is also more suitable for swimming, the front of the legs has long hairs, whereas the back hairs are considerably shorter, and this might give the first impression that the hoof is turned the wrong way around. Oh god, it is. Ugh. The image does look bad, but because the hair's over it, um, it looks like it's just straight down. So yeah, that's the similarities. Those are the similarities. I will go back to read the story, but let's draw for now. This. So I was hoping to. So I did plan to draw another monster from Iceland with this one, but I'm gonna wait. Look at that face. Okay, so I got that. Um, what's a dapple gray? You know what? I'm gonna look it up. Okay. Color. Okay, what color is dapple gray? Okay, it's that color. It's that color. Darn it. There. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. So, yeah. I don't know why no one's here. Oh, yeah, and for once, I am going to start making little reference sketches so I know how to draw it. But, yeah. So I know how exactly to draw them. Okay. Wrong brush. Wrong brush. But yeah, out of many of the creatures that I'll be that will be coming later on in this little series, I have to say this has to be one of my favorites, but not how I'm drawing it. It's kind of my favorite Icelandic creature in all, though there are others. This is just one of them. I have to say I like it because it shares relations to other, if not many, water horses of the world. I do not know how to draw horses at all. So I did mention that after I finish talking about ghosts from creatures from Japan, I would do a season where you guys recommend creatures for me to kind of look up and discuss. Trust me, I will be searching my ass off for them. And I accidentally hit my mic. So, would you be a brave enough soul to face this beast? This devil in the form of the horse? Or would you rather just face some other beast? Because there's things that are scarier than this. But yeah, I think I've been like getting better at drawing horses. Also, I should be using this book to draw the. I feel like I'm on a short leash because of this the cord for the headphones. Okay. Oh, so it's drawn like that. Okay. Okay. But yeah, I think I got it mostly right though. But yeah, I don't know why people aren't here, huh? It's making me upset. Why don't people want to learn about mythology? Where are my people at? And if you just show up, I am not repeating what I just read, okay? You're gonna have to watch this whole thing. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, look at that leg. That is best leg. I am ashamed. I am deeply ashamed. But I think this has to be the quickest episode I've ever done of Let's Talk Mythology so far. So far, this is the quickest one. So it will be easier for you guys to watch. There we go. There's the outline. And gosh darn it. Okay. Okay. Save as. Okay. Okay. Now, let's finish off with a little story with an interaction with this beast. Once upon a time, there was a man who was thought to have more to him than met the eye. On one occasion, he went to round up his brown horse. On his way, he met a brown steed not far from a certain lake. As this animal seemed to be his horse, Brownie, he slipped a rope into its mouth. Then he noticed that this horse had a thicker mane than his Brownie, although the hooves were the same. The man became suspicious and looked into the animal's face. It was then he saw that it had only one eye, which was set in the middle of its head. He then said, "Aha! Is it you, you devil?" These words startled the brown creature, and it raced towards its lake because this horse was a water horse. That is the end of that creature. Join me next time as we once again go back to Iceland to meet up with more creatures. And I will eventually finish all the rest of these things. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And please share with your friends. That will be so helpful for this channel to help them learn more about these beasts from Iceland. I love teaching. I love sharing sharing one of my most favorite topics with all of you, and I want to help. I just want to teach you guys all I know about these things. So, I will see you guys next time as we meet with another creature that lives in the waters of Iceland. This is Cryptic Yells, and I will see you all next time. Farewell, my lovers of mythology. Until good night.